There is no spoon. It became a meme the second the movie dropped. You've seen it on t-shirts, heard it in 1,000 parodies, watched people use it to sound deep at parties. But here's the thing, nobody wants to admit. Most people actually don't understand what Spoon Boy meant. Not really. You think it's about the Matrix being fake. You think it's about computer code and simulations, and Neo learning to hack reality, like it's some video game cheat code. And if that's where your understanding stops, you've completely missed the point of what the Matrix is actually trying to tell you. Because this scene isn't about bending spoons with your mind. It's not about telekinesis or wireless powers or any of that surface-level stuff. It's about something way more deep and uncomfortable.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible.
Remember that? Everyone remembers the "there is no spoon" part, but they forget the first half, the impossible part, the part that tells you you're doing it wrong from the start. This is about the difference between trying to change reality versus realizing that you are the thing that needs changing.
That it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
And if you're someone who thinks you're awake in real life, who thinks you see the Matrix operating all around you, then buckle up because this is about to get personal. Let's decode what Spoon Boy actually said, word by word, and why it matters more now than it did in 1999. Who actually is Spoon Boy? Before we rip apart what he says, we need to understand what he is. Because Spoon Boy isn't some random mystical kid who just happens to be hanging out in the Oracle's waiting room bending silverware for fun. He's what the rebels call a potential. See, the Matrix is a giant computer simulation. We all know this. The way red pills get their powers is by realizing they're inside that simulation. The more awareness you have, the more you can bend the rules. That's what gives Neo his edge. He doesn't accept authority. He questions everything, that's his superpower, before he even has superpowers. But here's the problem, Morpheus explains.
We never free a mind once it's reached a certain age. It's dangerous. The mind has trouble letting go.
When people reach a certain age, they don't want to be unplugged. Their minds reject the truth. It can literally kill them to realize the world around them is fake. So the rebels aim for young people, kids, teenagers, people whose brains are still flexible enough to handle a complete reality rewrite. When the rebels encounter a kid who's starting to question things, who's seeing glitches in the system, who feels like something is fundamentally wrong with the world they're living in, that kid becomes a potential. They're brought to the Oracle. They're trained. They learn what the Matrix actually is. They develop their powers in a safe environment. And the benefit to the rebellion is obvious. More troops, more soldiers when these kids grow up. Fewer people plugged in who could turn into agents. Because remember what Morpheus said.
That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent. Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one.
So the rebels hunt for potentials, as many as they can find. Kids who are waking up on their own. The movies only show you a handful, Spoon Boy and the few others in the Oracle's apartment. But the comics, the video games, the extended Matrix universe is full of these kids, dozens of them, all learning the same lesson Spoon Boy is about to teach Neo. And here's what makes Spoon Boy special. He figured it out before Neo did. This kid cracked the code while Neo was still busy being confused. That's why he's the one doing the teaching in this scene, and not the other way around. So when this child in a weird toga looks at Neo and starts talking about spoons, he's not being cryptic for the sake of it. He's trying to download years of understanding into one conversation. He's trying to give Neo the cheat code to everything. Let's see if Neo was paying attention. Picture it. Neo is sitting in the Oracle's waiting room. There's a kid levitating blocks. Another one's making toys float. And then there's Spoon Boy, calmly bending spoons with his mind like it's the most natural thing in the world. Neo picks up a spoon, looks at it, tries to figure out the trick, and then Spoon Boy drops the philosophy bomb.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible.
Wait, hold on. Impossible? But you're literally doing it right now, kid. We can see the spoon bending in your hand. So what's impossible about it? Here's what Spoon Boy means. Trying to bend the spoon is impossible because you're still operating from the wrong framework. You're still thinking in terms of physics. You're still thinking there's a spoon made of metal that has structural integrity and molecular bonds and all that real-world stuff. You're thinking like someone who believes the spoon exists as an independent object. That's the trap. That's what makes it impossible.
Instead, only try to realize the truth.
Okay, what truth? What's he getting at? Neo asks exactly that. What truth? And here's where Spoon Boy delivers the line everyone remembers.
There is no spoon.
Not the spoon is fake. Not the spoon is made of code. Not the spoon is a computer-generated illusion. There is no spoon. Nothing. Zero. Not even ones and zeros. Not even simulation stuff. Just pure, absolute nothing. Neo repeats it back, confused.
There is no spoon?
He doesn't get it yet. He's still trying to wrap his head around the concept. He's still looking at the spoon in his hand and seeing a spoon. And that's when Spoon Boy completes the lesson.
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
This right here is where most people completely miss the point, because you think he's saying you bend instead of the spoon. Like it's a magic trick where you're the one moving and the spoon is just along for the ride. But that's not it. What Spoon Boy is actually saying is this: the spoon never mattered. The spoon was never the issue. What matters is that your mind bent itself into accepting spoon as a real thing in the first place. Your perception created the limitation. Your belief in the spoon's existence is what made it unbendable. The prison isn't the spoon. The prison is you agreeing that spoons are things that exist and have rules. And here's where this gets really dangerous for all you people who think you're awake in real life. You're still trying to bend the spoon. You see the systems around you, the control mechanisms, the algorithms, the matrix of modern life, and you're trying to bend those things. You're trying to change external reality. You're still fighting the spoon. Spoon Boy is telling you to stop. Stop trying to change what isn't real. Start changing yourself, your perception, your acceptance of the frame. But Neo didn't fully understand it then. Not really. It took a life or death situation for the lesson to actually click. Fast forward to the end of the first Matrix film. Morpheus is captured. Agent Smith has him. The rebels are planning a retreat. Everyone thinks it's over. Neo knows he has to go back in. He knows it's probably suicide, but he's going anyway because Morpheus believed in him. And now it's time to return the favor. Neo and Trinity, loaded up with enough guns to supply a small war, fighting their way through the lobby up the elevator shaft, trying to reach Morpheus before the agents crack him open and find the access codes to Zion. And then Neo faces an impossible shot. There's a cable above the elevator. If he shoots it, the elevator will drop, the bomb will go off, and he can zip up the shaft. But the timing has to be perfect. The physics have to line up exactly right. One mistake, and he's dead. This is where the lesson kicks in. Neo closes his eyes, takes a breath, and whispers to himself,
There is no spoon.
not as a magic spell, not as some kind of reality-hacking code word, as a reminder, a mental reset, a way to stop thinking about what's possible and what's impossible according to the rules he thinks exist. He shoots, the cable snaps, the elevator drops, the bomb detonates, and Neo zips up the shaft exactly as planned, defying what should have been physically impossible. He didn't bend the physics of the Matrix. He bent his own limitation. He stopped believing in the rules that said he couldn't make that shot. The boost he needed came from inside his own head, not from some external cheat code. That's what Spoon Boy gave him, not a technique, a mindset, a way to stop arguing with reality and start questioning whether the reality he's arguing with even exists in the first place. And if you think Spoon Boy's just a one-scene character who exists to deliver that one lesson, you're wrong. In Matrix Reloaded, Neo's about to leave Zion to go see the Oracle, and this young rebel who Neo accidentally freed runs up to him with a package.
A gift from one of the orphans. He made me swear to get it to you before you left. You said you'd understand.
Neo opens it. Inside is a spoon, but not a Matrix spoon. Not a simulated spoon that doesn't exist. A real spoon. Ugly, bent, handmade metal from the real world, from Zion. The kid who taught Neo, there is no spoon, just sent him a spoon that actually does exist. The symbolism is perfect. Spoon Boy made it out. After all those years as a potential, learning about the Matrix, bending his perception, developing his powers, he finally got unplugged. He woke up in his pod. He got freed. He made it to Zion. And the first thing he did was make a spoon and send it to Neo as proof. What this means is, I'm free now. The lesson is complete. There is no spoon in the Matrix, but there is a spoon here in reality, and I made it for you. It's a full circle moment that most people completely missed. But here's where we need to talk about you. You think you're awake. You think you see the Matrix operating in real life. You see the algorithms controlling social media. You see the systems of manipulation and control. You see the way perception is managed and reality is filtered. You see the modern Matrix. But let me ask you something. Are you trying to bend the spoon? Because most people who claim to be red-pilled, who claim to see the Matrix, are still operating from the wrong framework. They're still trying to change external reality. They're still fighting the spoon. They're trying to wake other people up. They're trying to expose the system. They're trying to fight back against the algorithms and the control structures and the narrative manipulation. And every single one of those actions assumes the spoon is real. You're still accepting the frame as legitimate. You're still believing that these external systems have power over you that needs to be resisted. Spoon Boy's lesson is the opposite. He's not telling you to fight the Matrix. He's telling you to stop believing the Matrix has any power in the first place.
There is no spoon.
The Matrix isn't the world around you. It's not the systems or the screens or the algorithms. The Matrix is your perception of the world. It's your belief that those things are real in a way that can trap you. It's your mind bending itself into accepting limitations that don't actually exist. You're not trapped by external forces. You're trapped by your own insistence that those forces are legitimate obstacles. The only thing that bends is you, your perception, your acceptance of the frame, your belief in the reality of the prison. And here's the really uncomfortable part. You can't fight your way out of a perceptual prison. You can't battle something that only exists because you believe in it. The only way out is to stop agreeing that there's something to escape from in the first place. That's what Spoon Boy understood as a child. That's what he tried to teach Neo in 30 seconds. That's what most people will spend their entire lives never figuring out. There is no spoon. There never was. Stop trying to bend what isn't there. Bend yourself.